bring you a quick little Q&A. I've been kind of reorganizing a lot of my perspectives on my business and my profession. And I'm actually going to be working at a place, at a school that is very, very close to some of my favorite thrift stores. So I know I'm going to be thrifting quite a bit come fall. So I'm going to be in a self-proclaimed non-shopping month. I'm going to actually try to stay away all through August, and then just to try to catch up on the listings. So I thought I would start my video here because I was kind of prompted to do a different type of video. I got a request to do a video on my hair, and I don't know if it had to do with I think it has to do with how I cut my hair, which I've already done a video on that. But I'm going to do a little transition video on how I went from dyeing my hair religiously every 3 weeks to stopping cold turkey, and how that transition actually took place, because I did chronicle it in a Pinterest, in a private Pinterest board. So I'm going to bring that to you, and then someone asked me how I cut my hair, so I'm going to link that video where I cut my hair and maybe do some more tips on how I cut my own hair and whatnot. And I also wanted to introduce some videos. So I try to mix my videos, and that's why I do playlists, because I know I have a strong following for the reseller community, and I love it, and I follow it religiously as well. But I also am interested in other things, and I have done other things. I've done perfume reviews, I've done perfume collections on jewelry and whatnot, and so I'm going to do a few of those as well. And I thought I would film right here, right next to my copious collection that has actually gotten bigger and bigger, and there's quite a few in here that I've never introduced you to, and that I also want to review. So I hope you are receptive to those and come back and tune in for those. Okay, get started on our Q&A. All right, so one of the questions that I got was from Guillermo M, and he asks or says, "Thanks for answering my question. Your Q&As are very informative. I'm going to have my very first garage sale next month. Can you share any tips that worked for you in garage sales? Thanks again for all the help and knowledge you've been giving us." Thank you for asking the question and for your kind comments, Guillermo. I really appreciate it. I did link my, I think I have 2 or 3 videos on garage sales, and I did link them to this particular video, which was the last Q&A. And on there, I touch on things like being prepared. By being prepared, I mean organizing your items in a nice and buyer-friendly way. Don't make your buyer dig down on the ground, dig through boxes, mildew-filled boxes, and then expect to get $1 a piece for those items. It's not going to happen. If you can, get some tables, and you can make tables out of chairs. You can put an old door between 2 chairs. You can you can fashion and construct different ways to display. I even turn cardboard boxes upside down, maybe put a sheet on top of them, or a pillowcase to set off your item, and I'll put shoes on top of there. I don't even like to put shoes on the floor. I just think that if you value your item, your customer is going to value it as well. Another thing, of course, we all know the usual: have change ready. Make sure you do all of that the night before. You can make them interesting, but make legible signs. Don't write this when you expect someone to drive by the street and read it. They're not going to do it. If anything, at least put the address big and then put an arrow. Don't forget to use those arrows as well to point to where, in the direction of that garage sale. And if you wrote your sign, let's say in red, then just do red arrows. Put little signs with red arrows until we get to your street. Because I know for one, I get really frustrated when I have to hunt down a garage sale. I sometimes just give up. I will not do it. And then I don't even know if you had it Saturday or Friday or Thursday. So put the dates on there, put the times. Make sure you remove your signs when your sign is done, when your sale is done. Get those signs out of the way. Not only do they look horrific, and many neighborhoods actually prohibit them, so try to get those removed as soon as possible. And that's really all I can say. Another thing I don't do is price. I don't waste my time pricing every single item, because most of the time you will get people who are knowledgeable about garage sales and how to barter, or rather how to haggle, and they will, they will come up to you with 20 things and say, well, how much are you going to give me for this? And then you're sitting there trying to do the math, and it's just very frustrating. Or worse, they pop those tags, and that's not cool. So if anything, I have done, I do a sign sometimes, and I will put in a large sign, I will hang it in the front of the rack, of the clothing rack, and I'll put all jeans $5, all t-shirts 50 cents, or skirts are $2, dresses $5 unless otherwise marked. Because once in a while I'll have a formal out there or something that I may want $10 for. But that helps when you have a sign like that. Or, and really I just wait. I wait for people to ask me, how much do you want for this and how much do you want for that? Because to me, it's just faster. If you guys have a different notion about that, let us know. But I just think, as far as the seller is concerned, it's really a lot faster to do it that way, because you don't have people moving things around, moving the tags, or if you have a dollar table, then they'll say, oh, it was at the dollar table, unless you specifically know. And then I have a lot of jewelry usually for sale, and I usually incorporate help. I'll get my daughter and her friends to I bribe them with breakfast and free stuff, because they always find something they like in my garage sales. And I ask them to help, because I really just need those extra eyes on there. There's a lot of sticky fingers in the garage sales, and sometimes they're inadvertent. Sometimes it's a child who just took off with the Trans Am you were trying to get $10 for. So you just have to always have eyes on the prize there. Just have your eyes, have extra eyes, extra hands if you can. That's always really, really important. And again, back to presentation, make sure that your things are on a table. If you have the tablecloth, if you have a bedspread or a bed sheet that's nice and clean, put it over the table. It's better than having one of those work tables full of paint, and then you're trying to sell, a nice little glass frame or a nice vase. It's going to be set off. It's going to be elevated. It's going to be valued more if it's presented nicely. I mean, just think about it. If you walked into Macy's and they just had all the clothes thrown on the floor, or all the shoes just all together in one rack. No, they color coordinate. They do by season. They put contrasting textures, and they even do the elevation. They'll do, if you have a whole bunch of toys, get a little another crate or something, and put drape that with some cloth of sorts, and just do a little stair step type of stacking, so that people can see everything that's presented in front of them. I like to do that a lot. If you have a lot of junk jewelry, put it in bags. I do that as well, a lot of costume jewelry. And I've actually sold more of those at garage sales than I did at the flea market. When I took them, I didn't sell any, but I sold like 2 or 3 at a garage sale once. I even did a whole bunch of broken watches that I've already tested, because I'm a collector myself. I love watches. And I had a whole slew of watches that had already been taken to my repairman to see if he could if they just needed batteries, and they weren't. They had already, done their deed, and they were done. So I just put them all in a bag, broken watches as is, $20, $10, whatever it may be, because people buy them for repair and for parts. So that always helps as well. If you have a whole bunch of something, lot it up. Bunch of t-shirts, let's say you have a whole bunch of t-shirts, you can put some tape around them, and people can still look through them and see what kind of t-shirt they are, what kind of graphic they have on them. They can check the size, and you'll sell the whole bunch for $5 as is. No, you can't pull that one out. Now the next day maybe you want to slash prices, go half price on everything, or all the take those t-shirts apart and sell them for 50 cents a piece, whatever. But that's a good way to get rid of some things like that. And then I also categorize. I showed in my video how I use my I like to keep a nice open area so that your customer can walk around and look at their leisure, and they don't feel like they're going to trip over something. And I'll put all housewares together. I'll put all clothing in the back on a rack. I'll put the shoes over here. I'll put the toys, the kids' toys over here. And the bicycles, I'll put them out front to attract that traffic. If I have something big like a sofa, any kind of furniture, I'll bring that up to the very front of the driveway to make sure that I get some attention that way. I also use things that I have around the house to display my things. I have a coat rack. I pull it out. I put the purses on there. I have big jewelry, treasure type chests, and I'll put all my wallets in there, all nice and neat, so that they can see that this is all wallets. They can see, oh, here's all the earrings. and then of course an area with all dishes and whatnot. So it really helps to categorize it that way. It really helps to use tablecloths. It really helps to have everything clean. If the thing has been sitting in the garage for a while, dust it off. Please don't bring out something dusty and yucky unless you want $1 for it and you don't care. But if you want more money for it, clean it up, value it, show that you care about it, and the customer will as well, and they will give you 10 instead of 2, you know. So that's about all I can think of. I did link those videos. I'll link it again on this video just in case you didn't see it on the other video. And I believe that's all the questions I have. So if you have any more questions or comments, please let me know down here in the comments section. Again, I hope you look forward to my other videos on collections and you know, just different themes on what people have been requesting and what I've often done in order to just kind of, you know, differentiate my videos a bit. I think it's more fun that way. All right, guys, so thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you come back again really soon. All right, then. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.